We take you live now to the Ontario Legislature, where question period is now underway. Let's listen in.
Member for Bay of Quinte.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you to the Leader of the Opposition for the question. And that $100 million loan that we made available to Algoma Steel in partnership with the $400 million put forward by the federal government is to help them get through this transitionary period as they move to electric arc furnaces, which will not only be more efficient and help them better control their inputs as their outputs waned because of the trade crisis, but it will make sure that there is a future for steel jobs in this province and a future for steel jobs in Sault Ste. Marie. And we know that those workers don't want bailouts. They want to get back to work, and that is exactly what we are delivering to those workers. Through our power centres, through our support for the sector, we are making sure that high-quality steel continues to be made in Ontario by the greatest workers in the world, and we will never back down from supporting our 17,000 steel workers.
Supplementary, the Leader of the Opposition.
Well, Speaker, this is getting pretty tiring. I don't know what the government doesn't understand about attaching strings to 100 million taxpayer dollars. We have 3,000 workers in Brampton facing layoff. We have 1,200 in Ingersoll. There are hundreds and hundreds of people all across this province, in Oshawa, elsewhere, who don't know whether they're going to have a job tomorrow. 1,000 more people in Sault Ste. Marie without jobs. Instead of bringing the workers to the table and ensuring that they could keep those jobs, this government is always more focused on putting money in the pockets of their friends and their donors. 1,000 workers and families are watching their jobs disappear. They deserve good jobs. They deserve good wages. They deserve a government who is going to stand up for them every single time, to defend their families, to defend their livelihoods. Why will the Premier not stand up for those workers?
Member for Bay of Quinte.
Madam Speaker, the statement that member just made was so manufactured she might qualify for a tax credit. But unfortunately, she would vote against that tax credit, just like you vote against the Ontario-made manufacturing investment tax credit, just like you vote against the Ontario Trade Together Fund, just like you voted against the $30 billion package of support that we have put forward to protect workers, to protect industries, to make sure that our jobs are not shipped down to the United States. These workers knew that this was a big opportunity to make sure that steel production continues in Sault Ste. Marie. We know how important it is to that community. We made the investment to guarantee the future of high-quality steel made in Ontario, made in Sault Ste. Marie, and we have secured the future of that industry.
Order. Question. The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Speaker. It's quite a performance, but it's not going to put gifts under the tree or food on a table. That's right. Speaker, let's talk about what this government's priorities actually are, because yesterday in committee, public servants have confirmed what we have been saying all along. The Minister of Labour has been picking winners and losers for the Skills Development Fund. Did the Premier know that his minister was handing out or was hand-picking low-scoring applications for the Skills Development Fund?
Recognize the Minister of Labour.
Speaker, that's not new news. It's something I've stood in this House and said. We take ministerial accountability, and I'm proud of the decisions we've made as a government to invest in workers in every corner of the province, Speaker. Just this morning, I was at a Labour conference in Etobicoke, Speaker, where we had employers, where we had union representatives alike, Speaker, and we talked about the investments to build. They recognized, for the first time, a significant commitment to nation build, a commitment to build new nuclear that's going to bring 18,000 jobs to small modular reactors alone, another 30,000 jobs with Pickering refurbishment. The civil construction investments this government is making is critical to support an economy at a time when we so desperately need it, to put men and women to work, to build hospitals, to build schools, to build public transit infrastructure, and we're supporting them with Skills Investment Fund investments to break down barriers for a talent pipeline to support that work.
Supplementary, the Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, it's hard to keep track of his answers because one day he takes responsibility, the next day he blames somebody else. We know that the minister picked all the projects, and we also know that he decided how much money they would receive. And don't just take it from me, take it from the very public servants that he has tried to throw under the bus. $2 million to the Premier's family dentist, $7.5 million to Keel Digital Solutions, that's the company that's connected to the Paris Groom. We're following along here. $10 million to the Premier's favorite nightclub owner, more than $100 million to the clients of the Premier's campaign manager. You're all seeing this, right? Aren't you? You're seeing this too. Can the Premier explain what direction he gave to the Minister of Labour to hand out these grants?
Minister of Labour.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as you heard yesterday, it was documented, the monthly reports that are done, the audits that are done, Speaker, the transfer payment agreement process, where that's negotiated, Speaker. And of course, we're going to make those investments that support men and women, that support people in the skilled trades, for example, that support healthcare workers, Speaker. Again, this morning, I met with a number of leaders from various locals around Ontario, and they said for the first time ever, this government is investing in meaningful pre-apprenticeship pathways, breaking down barriers for underrepresented groups to enter the trade. We have a record number of people who've signed up, 105,000 active apprenticeship right now, Speaker, in the system. We've seen more youth registering for apprenticeships, whether it's a Leuna local speaker, carpenters, IBEW, in Durham region, Speaker, in my community alone, entering the incredible nuclear workforce, Speaker, and it's millwrights. I saw millwrights this morning as well. Not one of those locals the member of the opposite has visited. She's never taken the time to talk to a single worker that's benefited from this fund, Speaker. She's just politicizing it. Yeah.
And we are just listening to the Ontario legislature where question period is underway.
3 people have been arrested in a $1 million liquor trafficking ring that was operating across the GTA. Halton Police sharing a photo of some of the stolen liquor that was recovered from a residence in North York. Officers say the group was purchasing and reselling liquor that was stolen from LCBO locations. They allegedly sold more than $1.3 million worth of stolen alcohol. Several vehicles and about $120,000 also seized in this case. 56-year-old Rajinder Sidhu, 52-year-old Parminder Sidhu, and 25-year-old Navdeep Sidhu are facing a total of 12 charges.
Ford and Chow both tapping on at Humber College Station, which is the end of Line 6 in the West End. They then unveiled a plaque to commemorate the official opening, which is on Sunday. Ford and Chow spoke briefly before getting on one of the new trains with other officials, including Metrolink's CEO, Michael Lindsay, and TTC CEO, Mandeep Lally.
Well, folks, I just want to thank everyone that's been involved, from Metrolinks to the TTC and everyone else, elected officials. There's a lot of work to be put into this, and thank goodness we're open for business now. And again, it takes a whole, as they say, it takes a whole village. Well, it took a whole city and part of the province to get this going, but it's open now.
I can't wait to get on Line 6, the Finch LRT. And thank you to the federal and provincial government premier. Thank you for making this happen. And it's going to have 51,000 riders, and it's exciting. I just want to let everybody know, when we have the grand opening on Sunday, you can ride for free.
The LRT will have 18 stops along Finch Avenue and connect to Line 1, TTC bus routes, and regional transit. We're following some breaking news from Mississauga, where a man is in critical condition after being found shot. CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan just arriving at the scene near Derry Road and Dixie. Steve, just set the scene for us. What are you seeing? What's happening around you?
Well, we're on a industrial plaza lot, Cardiff Boulevard, which is on the north side of Derry Road. I'll get out of the way here and Tommy can tighten the shot. And what we can see, I just got here, but what I can see based on my own observations and through the magic of the camera lens is a baseball bat on the ground inside of the police tape there. A man has been shot and is in life-threatening condition in hospital. Suspect fled in an unknown vehicle. That's all we know at this point in time. So clearly it looks as though there is some sort of dispute. A gun was involved, and it appears that that baseball bat that's lying on the ground inside the police tape was also involved in this dispute. We are expecting an update from Peel Police at about 1:30. Now, what I can tell you is that in this industrial plaza, there are plenty of surveillance cameras. And that will be precious evidence for the police as they continue with the investigation. But that's all the information we got right now. 11 o'clock this morning, a man was shot. Suspect fled in an unknown vehicle. We don't know the motive behind the shooting, but based on what we're looking at right now at the scene, it does appear as though a baseball bat was involved. Clearly a gun was involved. And what this dispute was over, we'll maybe learn more from police when they give us the update at 1:30. I'll send it back to you for now.
Steve, so certainly this zoom in by our camera operator, Tom, they're giving us a closer look at this baseball bat or a piece of wood that was used in this dispute. I guess if you're a police officer, you're from major crimes, you're coming to the scene now to start to piece it together. Where do you begin? Is it with the video surveillance or is it with the physical evidence at the scene?
Good question. It would start with, you want to speak with eyewitnesses because your recollection is always freshest, your memory is freshest, the earlier you can recall what you saw or heard. So that will be a big part of this. And then the collection of the video surveillance, the physical evidence, there is no hurry unless there's trace evidence on that. There's no hurry to get that. That can be collected, set aside, and then analyzed later. But what you want to do is get the eyewitness accounts. That's the freshest account, backed up with the video surveillance, then your physical evidence at the scene, and then you'll learn the history of the victim and see if there was anybody that had any animosity towards him, whether any disputes going on, and then you would piece it all together that way. But that's a great question. And the first and foremost, what you want to do as an investigator is speak to the eyewitnesses first and foremost, because, again, what they saw, they can recall more accurately if you get to them as quickly as you can. And sometimes witnesses flee as well, not intentionally, but they leave a scene and it's hard to track them down. So that would be the priority, then the video surveillance, then learning the history of the victim, and then the physical evidence will be collected and analyzed by the forensics. So, send it back to you.
Looks like a lot of vehicles there, potentially a lot of witnesses. That's our crime analyst, Steve Ryan, reporting live in Mississauga. We'll get back to him once police do give us an update there as well.
Peel Police, meantime, are investigating a deadly stabbing in Brampton.
Officers were called to the parking lot of an apartment building on McMurtry Avenue in the Steeles and Main Street area around 10 o'clock last night. Paramedics began life-saving efforts but say that a man was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say it appears to be a targeted incident, but no suspect information has been released yet.
And we're expecting an update from Peel Regional Police at about 8 o'clock this morning, so we'll take that live when that gets underway.
Ontario's Auditor General has released her annual report, and which has raised some concerns about the health care. Shelley Spence found that the province is not properly overseeing doctors' billings. An analysis of claims over the last 3 years found that in each year, at least 59 doctors billed for more than 24 hours of service in a day, and the ministry has not thoroughly reviewed those claims. And when it comes to family doctor access, the report finds very few physicians are participating in the province's Healthcare Connect system, leading to long wait times. The government has boasted of reducing the wait list by half, but the report shows the number of people on that list, it's not representative of the true need for primary care, as only about 11% of people without a family doctor have registered.
We did recommend that they expand it to other languages because there's a lot of people that wouldn't have access to be able to understand how to use Healthcare Connect. And having only about 11% of the people that need a family doctor even knowing about Healthcare Connect, there needs to be more education and more wide spread information about how to register on Healthcare Connect.
The AG also found Ontario wrote off more than 1 billion items of personal protective equipment since 2021 at a cost of $1.4 billion. Spence found the province continues to purchase masks, gowns, and other protective gear at the same levels as the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, despite significantly declining demand. The province created Supply Ontario in late 2020 to manage the stockpile, but Spence found it does not have a system that can properly track the gear.
Today marks a week since a fire first broke out, impacting 2 apartment buildings in Thorncliffe Park, and there's still no timeline for when residents will be able to go back home. The fire has been slowly burning through particle boards in the walls shared by the 2 high-rise buildings at Thorncliffe Park Drive and Overley Boulevard. Efforts to put the fire out have been hampered because it's smoldering in a space that officials say is too narrow for crews to access directly. Chief Jim Jessup described the fire as unprecedented. 370 residents have registered with the Red Cross to receive support so far. The city says 239 of them are being put up in hotel rooms. And for more on what impacted residents need to know, we're joined live by Anne-Marie Thomas with the Insurance Bureau of Canada. Anne-Marie, thanks so much for being here. What would you say, first and foremost, to these tenants of 21 Overley and 11 Thorncliffe Park?
That we are so sorry that they're going through this, and the insurance industry is standing by, ready to take your claim and help get you back to normal as quickly as possible.
Tell me, Anne-Marie, what does that look like? What should their first steps be once they actually, get the all clear from Toronto Fire? They can go home, start to assess the damage, and then figure out what the next steps are.
Yes, so even before that step, residents should be keeping all of receipts that they have of expenses that they have incurred since they've been displaced from their home. Each home policy, so whether that's condo or renters, offers coverage called additional living expenses, and that coverage pays to reimburse you for costs that you've incurred as a result of not being home. So whether it's paying for laundry, taxis, meals out, that sort of thing. So keep all of those receipts. And when you do gain entry to your home again, take pictures of any damage and keep a list of all of the property that has been damaged or broken or whatever the case may be, and submit that to your insurance company to get your claim started.
Okay, so keep all their receipts from now till the moment they're allowed to go back, document everything they possibly can. And then what happens from there, Anne-Marie? Because, we don't know the status of what these apartments look like. We don't know how much water damage, how much fire damage is actually in these units. But what would happen at that point once they make that contact with an insurance agent?
So once they've made the contact with their insurance company, the insurance company will assign an adjuster, and that adjuster may come and inspect the property and walk you through what the next steps are. It may be that you can still live in your unit, you just have a hole in the wall or something, or maybe you have to stay out of your unit because the repairs needed are just too great. In that case, you can still have those additional living expenses from your condo or your rental insurance policy.
I appreciate that everyone's insurance policy is completely different, but in these kinds of scenarios, I guess, how much do people end up paying out of pocket, depending on what the adjuster actually comes back with?
That is such a great question. Because each situation is different. No 2 units are going to have the exact same damage. So by the time you add up, and who pays for the repairs? Are the repairs on the inside of the unit? Are those the unit owner or renter's responsibility? Or is it the building's responsibility, for the outer walls? So it's far too difficult to tell right now just how much these claims may end up costing.
All right, Anne-Marie Thomas with the Insurance Bureau of Canada, thanks so much for your time and for your advice to these residents as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Olivia Chow is proposing the city increase the luxury homes tax rate. The motion to the executive committee suggests raising the cost to buy luxury homes incrementally between 0.9% and 1.1%. The motion says the city is facing an affordability crisis, and the update would shift the cost of funding to those who can afford it the most. This would bring the rate to 4.4% for those buying to a $3 to $4 million home. That number would increase depending on the property value to as much as 8.6% for those buying a home worth more than $20 million. The motion says the change would bring in $152 million in 2026.
Police are searching for a suspect after a woman was stabbed in Scarborough this morning.
The attack happened in the Markham Road and Steeles area right around 7:30. Investigators say that the suspect waited for the victim outside of a business and assaulted her with what's being described as an edged weapon. The woman was taken to hospital with what police are calling life-threatening injuries.
Investigators have released these pictures of the suspect. He's described as 5'8" with a medium build. He was wearing a blue hat, black jacket, and black pants. Police are also putting out these images of the vehicle they say the suspect left the scene in. It's described as a white, newer model Nissan Sentra. Anyone with information or additional video from the area being asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
Where'd he go?
I think this is him here.
Is it a unit? What is going on? Is he going through red lights?
Yeah, he is.
All right, we've got a live one here.
Yeah. Air 2, yeah, he's got his lights off and just went through reds at Kiel. And stayed back, we've got strategic observations. And northbound definitely he goes. Dodging in and around traffic. He's good for dangerous.
Oh, he's still in the car.
Male is smashing a vehicle and northbound he continues on Germana.
This just gets more interesting.
Yeah.
It is a Dodge Caravan. It is on file as stolen.
Copy, stolen vehicle.
Wrong side of the road.
Wrong side of the road, so eastbound and westbound lanes. Up to Jane.
Guys, don't put your lights on. We're not trying to stop you. We're calling this right now.
He had reds at Dufferin, blew the reds, and southbound Dufferin he goes.
TDD successful, guys.
Beautiful. The sparks should start flying now.
Continues, yeah, westbound. He's starting to spark up. He's sparking good. Into an apartment roundabout. I'll get you an address here. The cruiser just rolled in, underground.
He's running! He's running!
There he is. Right there.
K96, they're on now. They're just taking him into custody.
10-4-1 in custody, 321.
Air 2, great work, everyone. Dispatch will be 10-8 unless there's further taskings for us.
10-4, thanks for your help, Air 2.
A cyclist has been seriously injured in a crash with a vehicle downtown.
Yeah, Toronto police say this happened near King and Niagara Streets around 10:15 last night. A man in his 30s taken to hospital with serious injuries, but he is expected to survive. The driver involved did remain at the scene.